Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be working on a project to make signature pages out of 8x8 pieces of paper. Now, I did see this idea, and I cannot for the life of me remember who it's from. I just tried to look back in my YouTube history, and unfortunately, I watch YouTube on an old iPad when I'm working with my laser machine, and I don't sign into that channel because it's not tracked and I don't have history. So if I can figure out who it's from, I will link in the comment or put something on the screen who it's from. But they used the Tim Holtz 8x8 pieces of paper to make a signature page that is more in line with being bigger, like this, and then fold into the signature by putting thumb holes and then folding it. But I thought, one, I don't want to use my Tim Holtz paper for that because a lot of it is going to get hidden. So I'm going to put this away and say see you later for another project. But the second reason I decided I didn't want to do that is because I felt like those folded were going to be too thick, because in the center where the signature is, you have two thicker pieces of Tim Holtz paper. So I decided to try this with thinner paper. So I do have one pack of straight 8x8s that I could track down. I thought I had a second one, but you know how that goes. This is an old Joanne Park Lane. You can tell I've used a lot out of there. The spine is pretty loose for this. But what you need is two pieces. Oh, that's interesting. That's like half cut off. Two pieces of 8x8 paper. And I'm thinking that kind of looks old world. I thought I saw something a little different than that when I was flipping through. Oh, that must be it. I knew it was writing and old, but I thought it was a little more yellow. That'll work. So you need two pieces of 8x8 to do the project, which I will show you in a minute. But I was also thinking, if you don't have 8x8s, and as you can see, I'm kind of limited with my 8x8s. I just have one. You could definitely use 8.5 by 11. So you have either 8.5 by 11 that maybe you've cut down from 12 by 12s, which is what this pile is. I talk about it all the time. I'll cut the 3.5 inch strip off, and a 1 inch strip. I can run this through the printer to have white on the back. I do have a big stack. Oh my gosh, it's heavy. Oh, sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. Of 8.5 by 11s. I believe they're all Joann's that I got. These are some kind of neutrally darker ones, and I've got this, which is an even lighter version, a little bit more weathered, and then I've got this little bit brighter one that has travel stuff in them. This one's fun. I don't think I've actually ever used like a page out of this one, so I think I'm going to play with this one after I show you the first one for that. So we're going to put these, get my glue book out of the way before I bury it, put these to the side and get these two ready. So I'm going to show you, I did finish two samples to show you what I'm talking about. So this first one is from the maps book. You can see there's a map, and this second one is from the Timeless Worn picture, and you can see that it's inked because that is the back of this sheet. Same with this one, another map, and there is the back. So if you ever have issues, well, not really issues, but you don't like putting papers in your journal that are white, and if you had a full sheet of paper and you put that in your journal, you got a lot of white to deal with. And if you don't like it, you have to cover it a bit more. I've done it before. I've done some stamping things. Again, like I said, I put these through the printer, print something else on the back. There's lots of ways to disguise the white if you don't like it. But this way, for making these pages, I think serves this problem two ways. You only have to cover the white a little bit on the back, and you get to use two different papers in your journal instead of having the same one page on both sides. I don't know, I think it's kind of a fun idea. So let me show you how I did it. Not rocket science, not hard. Okay, so we are gonna get these out of the way, and we're gonna decide which ink I'm gonna use for this. And this problem, well, I've been leaning at, I had mentioned before that I'm gonna be making a multicolor journal. Maybe not too far in the near future, but near enough. Because I made this topper that I thought would go great on a multicolored journal. So I've been making some things that are a little bit more fun colored. So that's why I decided to make this one a little bit brighter. This is going to go in the purple journal. But I was thinking maybe the rainbow-ish one could be a little bit more travel-y, especially when I looked at that 8.5 by 11 travel stuff. So that's why I picked this, because travel-y. Okay, so now you know my reasons and whys and all the information. Okay, so colors for it. Again, like I said, I'm going to make this probably be more colorful journal. So I think maybe the light salvage patina and maybe a light yellow. I feel a light yellow. But light green peel paint. Put those to the side for now. Okay, so for this, it is basically just going to be, so we're going to put this on here. We're going to cut a divot out on this side, and we're going to cut a divot out on this side to make the side pockets. So I'm going to just make it easier. I'm going to flip it and cut the divot once. Try to eyeball the center. Not my strongest feature, but there we go. All right, so we have the page, pocket, and on the other side, pocket. And so we're going to just distress the back of the white that we feel is going to be shown. All right, so let's start with, there's a green one, and a green. All right, I'm going to start kind of in the center and work my way out to do this, because the center is going to be a little bit more hidden in the pocket, and it's a little bit like that. All right, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to take a blue, and I'm going to put it on the outside as a dual coloring. And then I'm going to do something radical. I have wet wipes. They've been drying a bit. This one might be too dry. And I'm trying to blend it a little bit. That one's a little too dry. I let it sit around. I played with it with the other one. Oh, this might be too wet. But we're going to give it a shot. I don't want to soak the paper. I just want to, since this is an oxide, just soften the edges up a little bit. So there we go. It's beautiful. I love it. Okay, so we're going to do the same on the other side, but I'm going to do the opposite. And since I did the green on the inside, I'm going to do blue on the inside. Why? I don't know. Just felt like it. Some of these oxides are a little stronger than others and spread a little bit more or darker. And I mentioned before, I got these from a friend, so I'm not sure. They might have used some of them a little bit more or had them longer, but some of them, I have a purple one that's so juicy, the ink is leaking in there. And some of them are definitely a little bit more drier. Okay, and then the green along the outside. Yeah, see, this green is really wet. And just put a little on the outside just to blend it together. Fun. And then take my semi-dry rag and just soften it up like a cloud. So pretty. It barely takes any off, but it just, I think, lightens it a little bit. Okay, and then that is going to be there. So pretty. Okay, now I'm going to take this off so I can glue. But I'm going to take a cheat sheet and I'm going to figure out how far to put it apart. Now I can make it smaller. I believe when she did her 8x8, she just left like an inch for it, and that would work. You'd be able to fold it and still have, you know, a variance in your book. You can pull it out so it's a little bit closer to an 11-inch. This is a copier piece of paper, so it's a true 8.5 by 11 that I coffee dye. But my thought is to have it come in just a little bit. I don't want it totally out, but not into just an inch. And it also leaves, because it's 8 instead of 8.5 tall, so it leaves a little bit on top and bottom and a little bit inside. So I think that's a good compromise for this. So we are going to just take, and we're going to put some glue across the bottom. And we're going to figure out where it goes here, and we're going to go across the bottom. Now you can see on this side, I did, when I do the inking, I do go in, because you will be able to see as you tuck in what that is. And we're going to go, and we're going to try to line up the bottom so that it is even. And if it's even down there, it should be even up there. So pretty. I'm going to just take a little bit of brown on the edge. And I forgot to ink this page where but again, not necessary, just I have to go back and put some glue on those since I kind of moved them, but not unfixable. Just edge the outside, grunge it up a little bit. Could grunge the rest if I wanted to for the page. Again, totally your preference. But there we have it. I think it's fun. It is a very unique signature page. And I probably should wait for the glue to dry, but you know, time's a wasting. So I'm going to fold it in half for the signature. And there we go. So let's put it in. We got a couple other pages here. Let's put it in my faked signature world. Pretend like we're putting a signature together. Okay, here it goes. Of course, you'd line it up where you wanted to. So you got first page. We have a pocket on that one, pretty colors. That is the back of the digital. So that one just happens to be a lot of space available. We have a decorated side on here. On this side, pocket. And that, and this side, pocket. So pretty. Like you don't know that that is connected to something else, because it is completely unique on its own with the writing and the printing. And then on this side, I should put so after you close it, you have the side that has the printing, and then when you go to this side, again, you don't realize it's got the paper because it's just a map and this pretty green that's on its own. And there you go. That side's got a little tuck. That side's got a little tuck, and there you go. Fun, right? I love them. And I definitely love that they are a little bit lighter so that they can be easily folded and put into signatures. Now you can fold them either direction. this way, if you fold it this way, the top part is the first part is that way. Gluing it this way, or you can glue it this way, so the top one is not a pocket. See the difference? This has the top with the hole on that side, hole on that side. This has the top with the hole on that side. Same with this one, hole on that side, that way. So it really just, I mean, it doesn't really matter to me which way it goes, but that's how it ends up going. So I have 2 signatures for my upcoming pretty rainbow-ish colored, maybe a theme of lighten you down a little bit, theme of travel, possibly purple for the purple journal. Travel journal. Okay, so let me show you how I did it with the, not that you can't figure that out yourself also, but I'm going to put these away because I don't know what colors I'm going to use next. This is also a fun reason to use some of my Distress Oxides in fun colors too. There's always an ulterior motive, isn't there? When you decide to do something. Okay, so let's I don't know why I'm keeping that, but let's pick something from the travel to make some fun stuff with. I mean, that could be fun, but I'm going to cut some of it off. Since this is 8.5 by 11, I do have to cut some of it off, so I do want to keep that in consideration when I pick something. Oh, I really like that green. I have a bunch of green in there, but it's cheerful. That orange is cheerful. Well, I do like that. And if some of the states got cut off, I don't think that's as big of a deal. We'll do that, right? I already have a map in there. I don't want necessarily another map. That orange is kind of fun with the globe. Actually, I got a green. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, let's get that to the side. Now, we are going to cut this down to 8. And I'll cut this one at a time. So if this is 8.5 by 11, if I wanted to get to 8, I need to cut 3 inches off. Sorry, math. All right, fun strip to play with. Okay, and I want to keep Illinois because I'm in Illinois. Very selfish of me, I know. Okay, now we cut that off. All right, now I can keep it the 8.5 if I want to because it will be the same height as that, but I think I'm going to cut it down to 8 only because I want to flip this way because these maps, if I keep it this way, are going sideways. This way, they're going this way. So I want to make it, oh, look, I don't have to. Okay, that'll work. Oh, that's why, because I cut off 3 and it would, no, it was 11 minus 3. I'm telling you, math. Yeah, see, this is 8.5. So this is 8.5 by 8.5. Well, let's give it a shot. It is actual square. So are these, they're 8.5 by 11. 11 minus 3 is 8, right? Okay, did I just measure it the wrong direction? No. I'm so confused. I guess I'll have to watch in the video and see what I did. I cut off 3. Okay, well, they lied. That's the problem. These are 11.5 inches tall. Even though they say they're 8.5 by 11, they're 11.5 inches tall. Okay, mystery solved. Not my fault. They gave the wrong measurements. Okay, so if you want things 8 by 8, don't measure by what the paper says, measure what your measure says. So, but we're gonna go with it. So this is gonna go like this, thumb hole. Now put the thumb hole on this side, thumb hole and thumb hole. And we're gonna make it a tiny thumb hole so I don't get rid of the word Illinois. There we go. All right, so if I want to ink the thumb hole side, we're going to go ahead and do that before I forget. All right, so these are super easy, so hopefully let me know if you think you might do them. All right, so I think for sure we want an orange. And I've got Rusty Hinge, which is an orange. And do we go with the green? Let's go with the brighter green, the Rustic Wilderness. Rusty and rustic. I like it. Okay, so for, I'm going to pick this side first because I got that. So I think I'm going to go mostly green with orange on the outside. Mostly green, green, okay, this is the side. Mostly green, I definitely like the inking part of the back instead of having to ink the whole page. Just having to do, 3 inches is definitely a bonus in my eyes. Like I said, there's so many ways to make this be okay. All right, and I have an orange. And I just got stuff on my hand. There we go. Okay, Rusty Hinge is definitely juicy. Okay. You definitely don't have to do 2 colors if you don't want to. I just thought it was a nice way to combine the 2 pages and add some extra color. Because this, like I said, it's going to go into this color journal, which is going to be fun. Okay, so you are going to go like that. Okay, I'm the right way. I was just thinking the last couple ones I've done have not really had an up or down, so I haven't had to worry about it. But this definitely has an up or down. So, okay, so we're going to color this side, and we're going to color orange first. I probably will end up making this journal a little sooner than later. I haven't gotten a chance to use those rainbow papers that I made a while back. I've sold a few sets. Kind of remind this morning I sold a set this morning. I gotta get it out right after this. I gotta package it up. But yeah, I haven't used any yet, and they're sitting there and they're gorgeous, and I know when I go through them to pick the papers for the order, I always go through and pick the prettiest. I'm going to be like, oh, I really want to use these. So This is almost fall-like, but I like how it's kind of ethereal looking and not really totally. Okay, so that is pretty on that side. Oh, that is really pretty on that side. Okay, fun, 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 fun. Let's get those away. I don't think I need these anymore. Okay, so onward to the gluing. And we're gonna get my little cheat sheet. Again, not necessary because you can make it any size you want. I really just did not want to, you know, not that the papers are, I didn't want to glue them like that and then have them too big and have to come back and cut them. That was really my reasoning behind making sure it was done like this. So, okay. All right, so we're gonna go from about here. And I'm not, I don't think I mentioned before, I'm not too worried the fact that I'm not gluing inside for the pocket to stop. Because right now, with it not in a signature, you can technically have the piece of paper go all the way through. But when the signature is folded up, it's not going to be able to go through. These will stop in there. When they're open, of course, they don't stop. They come through. But if you're worried about that, if you want to stick glue in there, you can. But again, once it's in the signature, it's going to stop. Beautiful. I love it. So, a fun way to add fun papers. And again, like I said, you know, not everything is totally necessary in the world. I could have definitely taken, you know, these sheets of paper, folded them in half, put them in the journal. Figured out a way to, you know, color the back somehow, print on it, because it's, well, 8.5 by 11.5, but 8.5 by 11, I can print something on the back of it. I've done it before, two-sided, but this is going to be fun in the journal. And this page, so fun. Be able to see that side, and this will be a pretty side to do. And then that side, I love this one. This is an awesome one. I cannot wait to use it, you know, with the other stuff. I'm gonna have a lot of these in the journal, I think. I'm about to start making some generic ones that can go into regular books. But luckily I did make one for the purple journal. So when I make the purple journal next month, that'll go in there. And yeah, I love it. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, well, I think that is all I'm going to say on this topic. I'm going to call this one done. If you're going to make these signature pages ahead of time, you could definitely go ahead and add other pockets to these if you wanted to. You know, like on this side, if you wanted to put, you got your cutoffs. If you wanted to add a pocket to that, that would work. If you wanted to, you know, add something from somewhere else, go for it. But if you just want to make a stash of pockets to be able to add into journals, pick some generic papers. You know, if you have those paper pads like these, where they're just basic neutrals, put a couple neutrals together. I mean, these have letters. These would be fun to cut into the 8.5, because then you can switch it and have the paper go the right way, versus if you put that into a journal, it's sideways. Not that you mind or anything. Same with this ledger. When you cut it, you can put that across the top. So if you have pages that are going the wrong direction, cutting them down to this, being able to flip it, is a great way to be able to use some of those pages that might be facing the wrong direction. Okay, I'll get off of my soapbox of why these are so wonderful. So thanks to, hopefully insert name here, for the channel for showing me the 8x8s made out of Tim Holtz, and giving me the inspiration to use my other papers. All right, well, that is going to be it for me today. I had so much fun doing these, and I hope you enjoyed them. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.